The bulls have control again. Very strong close after CPI and PPI have passed us this week. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Dr. B. I'm a holistic life and business coach and strategist for entrepreneurs and thought leaders. Also an investor, options, futures trader, and just here to educate and inform you. So thank you guys and ladies so much for all the support. And for those that have joined Leverage University, congrats to you for making the next step. And just a lot of positive feedback. So I appreciate that. If you enjoy my teaching style, if you're coming from another one of my videos, whether it's a teaching video, maybe it's the Robin Hood tutorial legend video, or maybe it's the charting video, please let me know how I can support you in your journey of investing, maybe become an entrepreneur, or just in personal growth in general. Been an entrepreneur for the past 8 years, and it has been an up and down roller coaster, but have been successful thus far, and it is not stopping. So loving it. Thank you guys and ladies so much for the support. Now into the value. Let's jump into the charts and also the information today. So if you haven't, join Leverage University. There it is right there. There's a discount code right now for the month of February. Feb10 gets you 10% off for our university section here, where it has our trainings, our personal development work. If you're looking to become an entrepreneur or just develop any side hustles or side gigs or extra money in your pockets, if you're looking to grow mentally, personally, and you're looking for that support group of professionals that you can have as a like-minded group of accountability, we'd love to have you inside of there. So if you have any questions about the level as well, I do answer DMs as well as maybe comments on the video. So thank you all so much. And as always, let's start off with our fear and greed index and a little bit of news of what affected the markets this week. All right. So we had a couple of things on the docket. We had our CPI and PPI, which is our consumer price indexes, and our producer price index report. That tells us how our consumer prices, which is we know are pricey, right? And I'll show you a little bit of a cool graphic right here. And this is inside of our Discord. Okay. So I have all these drop downs here where it has the arrows next to it, and it's pretty well organized there. And you can go into our club rooms and we'll go into our personal finance. And we had a good community member that posted here about this interesting CPI in the last 4 years. Our consumer price medical care up 9%, apparel up 9%, used cars 21%, higher than new cars. Shelter 24%. A lot of people are feeling that. Food at home. This one was interesting. Food at home versus food away from home. It's like, man, I used to save to just get some groceries and cook at home. And now people are like, well, maybe it's cheaper to just eat out. Right. So very, very close there. Electricity up 29%, gas up 34%, 39% home prices, transportation. So this is natural inflation. A lot of people are feeling this as well. These last two are very interesting. A dozen eggs and then auto insurance. Absolutely ridiculous. So what is the solution to this? Either make more money, get inside Leverage University, get inside of another community. If you enjoy another content creator or educator, just get around like-minded people to where you can find a way to have information that will allow you to move forward and stop worrying about things that you can't control. Okay. So there's a little information there. Okay. If you did have assets, then obviously that didn't matter, right? The S&P 500 was up 20+% in the past 2 years. If you're invested in the last 4 years in crypto, S&P, or the NASDAQ, QQQ, ETF, the tech stocks, then hey, a lot of these washed out anyways, but it still hurts to see some of this stuff. All right. Trump also spoke this week. A lot of the tariff news is still on the docket, still in question. But what's happening now is the market breadth, as we call it, meaning how the market is consuming this news is really not too drastic. The market's not too scared of it anymore unless something drastic comes out where it's like, hey, okay, we're not really down with this right now. But a lot of the tariffs news and the tariff information is becoming a little bit washed where it's like, okay, we get it. Nothing's happened. It's not affecting the market. It's not affecting us. Let's keep pushing on this trend upwards. All right. So Trump signs sweeping reciprocal tariff plan. And he's going to have more tariffs included. Texas and California, biggest state losers from escalating tariffs. That makes sense. A lot of imports there. And also on the East Coast, we'll probably take a hit as well in the North Carolina or the Carolina region up the East Coast. All right. Interesting article here that I just posted inside of our community. GameStop is considering investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So I may look at their chart just to see. I personally do not want to get involved in this. Airbnb shares pop 15% on better than expected earnings. I'll show you a chart on there about, just watching that, and I wouldn't say predicting it, but I did talk about it inside of Leverage University that the charts tell the story. And a lot of times when a chart is telling a story, typically the news or the earnings will follow through with that story. Okay. So I want to kind of show you that Dow closes more than 30% higher as Trump holds off on imposing new tariffs. NVDA also is bullish as well. So a lot of these tariffs, have you seen, even in Mexico, like he's imposing them and then kind of holding off. So that's why it's in question, is because if he decides to go harder on the tariffs and now it's just a quick little pause, then it could shoot us right back down. So very, very volatile, still in question within this first quarter of the new presidency and the administration in office. All right, cool. Let's jump on the charts, my favorite place. And give you some levels to watch out for the remaining of the week and going into next week. So if you've been watching my videos and you watch the lives, you've been joining the Stock Sermon Sundays, which is my market analysis each Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So turn on your notifications for 7 p.m. on Sunday Eastern Standard Time. I was talking about this 607, 608 area here on SPY, the ETF of the S&P. Okay, if it broke above that 607 and ultimately above 608, we're going to push very quickly into that potentially 610 level. It got pretty close, didn't touch into 610, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow we're going to try to tap that 610. And if we get extremely bullish into tomorrow, then we could take out into new all-time highs. That's why you see this video in particular, and the question marks on the thumbnail is this week the week? Is this weekly candle right here going to be that breakout weekly candle where we did close higher on the week thus far? Okay. The last close that we had that was high like this was 607.92. So we haven't had a weekly close, right? The close of the candle is the body of the candle, right? The last highest weekly close we had was 605.73. We had lower closes, lower closes, lower closes. Now we have a higher close here on the weekly candle, which is very, very bullish, as you can see, right? Bounced right off of that 599, 600, held that really strong, bounced off of that level, and it's continuing higher, which if we break into new all-time highs, right, I've got 615 and even 620 on watch if we continue and we close strong on the week, okay? So watch out for this. We still got some levels that we still need to break through first before we get too excited. And we still need to hold some levels, right? Because with the volatility, the pullbacks, if you've noticed, have been very drastic, okay? Every pullback is getting bought, but you've got to have a little bit wider range, as I'm telling people. So if you've never traded or invested in a Trump market actively, okay, the ranges are very wide. What does that mean, Brian? That means that with CPI, we gap down almost $8 overnight. And then we recovered roughly half the move. Then we dropped down pre-market again, back down to 601. And then we recovered back all the way up to 607, dropped all the way back down about $3 or $4 on SPY. So if you're trading options, these are pretty drastic moves. If you're just investing long-term, you're not worried about those moves. Okay. But day traders or short-term traders are worried about $3 to $4 moves on a index like SPY or QQQ. IWM doesn't move that drastically. So just size down still, wider ranges, and give yourself time on your contracts. All right. If you know what that means, amazing. If you don't, right, I'll be launching our stock market boot camp. So put boot camp down below in the comments if you want me to launch my 3-day beginner's stock market boot camp again, where you come in, ask questions live. I go over with a PowerPoint, everything, and you can get you started. All right. So comment boot camp or DM me on Instagram boot camp, and I'll send you the information for that. I'll probably be launching that headed into the end of the month and kind of giving a breather to get people started for a fresh new quarter. All right. So there we go. So 610, if we break above 611, on SPY confidently. So every time I say break above, that doesn't mean a 1-minute candle that, goes above and just breaks like that. Okay. I typically like to confirm on 30-minute and sometimes 15 minutes. So I need to see a 15 or a 30-minute candle, or at least 30 minutes to an hour into the market where we're confidently above that level, right? Kind of like what we did today. Do you see this 30-minute candle, how it closed pretty strong here? We pulled back to the level and we closed that 30-minute candle strong above 608, okay? So I'm on a 30-minute candle. Each candle represents 30 minutes. Do you see how confidently these candles are closing? No top wicks coming in. Very similar to, let me show you what that looks like. Kind of like this, right? So decent close here and then just tumbles, right? Ticks up, doesn't close strong, gets a little weak and stuck, tumbles, okay? So here are some key levels that you need to still be aware of, because look at last time we got just under 610. I mean, this right here was a little wild. This was the end of the month, okay, of January. And we retraced down to 601. We gave back $10 of a move on SPY at the end of a month on a Friday. Okay, so very interesting. Okay, I like to put people on caution to be aware that we're bullish, but you still got to respect these top end levels. So if we break out, great, take it up, but do not get too confident and cocky to where you're not respecting these top end levels, to where we have heavy sellers that were up here last time, right here at 610, right here at 610. If we cannot get above 610, then we can come back pretty drastically to that 607, 606 level. Okay. So please, please, please watch 610 to break and 608, 607 to hold. Okay. Calls down in this area. Okay. Or break above 611, take calls up. Okay. Don't say I didn't tell you so. All right. QQQ, very strong bullish breakout here. Next level, 538, but it's starting to, the last time we rejected here, very strong close right around this 536. So each dollar move, just watch for it to continue to close solid 15 to 20 minute 15 to 30 minute candles continuously above new highs. So 536 break, 537 break, 538 right there. And then if we break above that 538.29, then we're headed to 540 plus. Okay. So each dollar move on these indexes, SPY and QQQ, please watch as we go higher. All right. Calls, you want to see a red candle come down. For my put people that like to trade puts against the market, right? You want to see levels kind of break down first before you get too confident holding puts. You can scalp puts, but you need 533 to break and break back below 530. And that would be more of a solid level to get your put started below 530. Otherwise, I would not touch puts unless you're scalping or you know what you're doing. Okay. Let's see. IWM, love this chart personally. This was one that I signaled into our community because I love this 222 hold yesterday, okay, and how we kind of had this bullish hammer candle coming off this level. So IWM next level, if it gets strong, which are the small caps, okay, small cap companies, we could head right back to 230 if you break above 227, okay. Next level 230. If we break above 231, you can confidently take IWM up a little bit further and put contracts out until February 21st or into the month or into March, that the small caps are ready to kind of curl up, break out here if we get back above 231. All right. Couple notable names. Apple, very, very strong. Look at these daily candles here. Held 230, pull back to 235, held that and pushed above 240 and closed above 240. If Apple continues to hold 240, it's headed to 246 and ultimately 250. All right. So any pullback on Apple, look at this weekly candle, just super strong. Your pullback levels right now would be 235. Okay. 235, 236, and then 230. So about $5 increments on Apple if you can get some type of pullback, but they're very brief. Okay, as you see, push up in a 238, pull right back into 235, rip. Okay, so 237, 236 is a level that you'd want to look at on Apple for a pullback, right in this level for calls, and take it right back up. It is just stair stepping, stair stepping, stair stepping again, and take it up. So 237, 236 on Apple if you can. On calls, trying to take it back up to that 246, 247 level. All right. Couple notable names as well. Let's look at Airbnb. A lot of earnings that have come in just super strong. Airbnb, this is one that I told the community about that I love the chart. Loved this move right here, and it started to do it. I was looking for like one more pullback, and trading earnings is always a little iffy, but I was like, yo, this is going to 160, 170 again easily, because you're seeing this stair-stepping move, and this was the breakout I was seeing. Very strong candle right there, breakout above 140, holding 132, and it just took off. I mean, look at this candle, right? Earnings. So Airbnb, as people think that it's dead, it is not dead on the business side of things. It may be dead for investors or whoever you're talking to, but Airbnb, beautiful chart here at 130. Now it's back up, pushing towards this 166 level right there. If it breaks out above 170, it started to go to 200 again. So keep your eye on any pullbacks on Airbnb, maybe 150 as a pullback, but it will have a huge gap in the morning at open. So I'd love a retest of 141, but 150 would probably be your level on Airbnb to catch that bounce again. But 143 to 150. NVDA, it's got earnings coming up end of the month. So everyone's just buying up NVIDIA, trying to fill this gap. So we'll see what happens on NVIDIA earnings, if it follows through with what all the other tech earnings have been doing, which is tanking with guidance or too much AI spending or whatever. So I'm expecting two things out of NVIDIA. One, go ahead and fill this gap right before their earnings, see what it does. If it has great earnings, then we're breaking in probably new all-time highs. If it kind of follows suit with all the rest of the tech companies, right, you're more than welcome to keep buying. I personally do not want to chase this move now, because a lot of us, we have, $90 entries, $40 entries before the stock split, things of that nature. So a lot of people bought right here, 115, 113, 118. If we can, right? I'm not saying it will, but there are some gaps that are still down below that you got to be aware of that could get filled if this gets knocked back down. Very similar to this push. This push back up. We push back up into this area. Maybe it's still not ready to go for whatever reason. We pull back. That's where I would buy again, because now we've got a triple bottom, 1, 2, 3. And if we stop right there at 118 again, I think that's where we hold personally. But nice recovery thus far. And if you're wondering to, like, why, Brian, are you always talking about gap fills and, there's a gap below and things like that? Very similar to what I told about in a previous video, if you're new to me, anytime you have multiple gap ups, okay, meaning good news, good news, good news, good news, good news, it just keeps going, gapping up, going, gapping up, going, gapping up, going. About the third time on the upside, you have at least 1 or 2 days it just knocks it back down and gives back the whole move. So those gaps get filled. Very similar to what happened here at the beginning of February, right? We recovered nicely, and just 1 or 2 days knocked back down the whole move, okay? So that's why I'm saying that been doing this a while. So anytime I see a grind up, right? It's grinding up. It looks great, right? Drop down, grind up, grind up, grind up, grind up, grind up. 142, great. If it closes strong, great. I'm cool taking it up, but I've got to be aware that it could get knocked right back down and fill the rest of these gaps. Okay, maybe it's tariff news that finally Trump's like, hey, tariffs, whatever. So that would be my buy zone again. It's back down in the 120s, and ultimately a lot of investors want, down back into 100, 110 again, 105. All right, so still looks good, very bullish, heading into their earnings. We'll see how it performs. But yeah, keep buying the dip. But I will never chase. I will never chase personally. It always comes back to you at some point. Do not chase. Do not have FOMO about getting in. Now, I'll wrap this up with a couple of notable mentions. This is inside of our community. Please, 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 please. A lot of folks don't join communities, whether it's mine or others, because they think that they need to be live. Oh, this says live trading. I can't make it, or I can't do that. Well, a lot of the ideas that we've been posting or other communities post, the text chats in general, like share buying, right? Educational videos, right? Those are a lot of things that we can't teach on YouTube videos too much because that's where the community's involved. So I just wanted to debunk that for a little bit. If you can't make live trading and you're working and you're doing other things and you're like, oh, I'm not going to join, I'll just keep watching the YouTube videos of whoever I'm watching, please be mindful that I want you to look at this, okay? Take a quick break. I want you to take a look at our shares and leaps section, okay? Congrats to anybody that was in Dutch Bros. I called this out back in August of last year. Dutch Bros, here's the chart. Called it out at $28 to $30 to buy Dutch Bros shares. You could have even bought a leap, right? There's a couple of community members buying. There's James, got the best ticker, grabbed some up. And guess where we are now? Dutch Bros had earnings. And I want you to take a look at the chart where it was. So even if you would have bought 100 shares for $3,000, here's the Dutch Bros chart. It went up to $80. Okay. So that is the benefit, not just trading, is we have charts that we can find proper entries for your shares, right? If you're more of a long-term investor. So Dutch Bros, $80, right? And there was our entry back there. Okay. Same thing with Shopify. Look at the chart on Shopify. Beautiful retest right here at $55 to $60. I marked it out there. There we go. Long-term. Where was that? Back in August again. Look at the chart. Do you see how the chart can also help you as a long-term investor of buying shares? Now Shopify is above 120. Okay. So that would have doubled your money. Right. So a lot of these things that we have here inside of our community are shares as well. We're looking at a couple others. Hims, another one. Right. Call this out. Buy zones, $15 load the boat, $20 and about $35. Right. And here was the chart right there. Pull back zones marked $25. Where is Hims now? All the way almost at $60. There's another double up on your money. Okay. So you don't have to trade and day trade and move very fast. But when I'm teaching this skill set or even on the charts, I'm talking to my long-term investors as well. Okay. So a lot of these things, I'm not looking at buying shares personally at all-time highs. I'm looking at the dips like Dutch Bros back in August, or, we're looking at a couple others I can't share, but a lot of these things are setting up for another run where you can just have for the rest of the 2025 move. All right. Google, loving this right here for a nice recovery, still at all-time highs, but nice move, nice retracement here on Google. Amazon, nice retracement as well. Starting to have a little bit of, I don't really like this weekly candle here, kind of iffy on this weekly candle, but great daily move here off of this 227 area. So if Amazon can break back above 233, back above some of these moving averages here, really 234, then it's gone. But I love this bounce off of this 50-day moving average there on Amazon. Okay. Microsoft, watch it at 405. Oversold on the RSI. Okay. If you don't know what these terms mean, there's your hint to jump in. Okay. There you go. Right there. AMD, we're still setting up. I still got AMDL shares. I talked about that on one of our lives, but still waiting on my entry for AMD calls personally. If you're already in, right, just you have to be patient. Palantir, absolutely parabolic. Probably just going to all psych levels, meaning round even numbers. 120, 125, 130. It's got to break back below 100 to start cooling off. Ionic, another one of our great moves from underneath $10, right around $7 to $8, went to 60. Hood, got to shout that out as well. Robinhood. I have sold I sold a good percent of my shares, but community members have Robinhood underneath $10. Got it back here in at the end of 2023, 2024. And then even that pullback at $23 right here was another entry that we marked out for Robinhood. Amazing move. Beautiful. Yeah, that's about it. I'll share here. If you want more, join Leverage University. We'll see you inside. Thank you all so much. For my live trading people tomorrow, it's going to be Valentine's Day. It's a Friday. I may scalp something in the morning, but I want to enjoy my Friday tomorrow. So we will be live, but it'll be very quick. I'll jump back into some live trading on this YouTube channel. So let me know if you'd like that, just to see maybe once a month we do a free live trading on YouTube, and you can see how we do it. All right. Peace, up, and blessings. Talk to you later. You have a great one. Bye.